You guys, we're inching up to the 100th episode. It feels so surreal. Welcome to the podcast. I'm so excited to have you here. I am really looking forward to this conversation because it's one of those. I feel like I've been having a lot of these conversations lately where things don't feel like they're on fire, but we absolutely need to have a conversation about what's underneath the surface. And a lot of these lately have been the ones underneath the surface, which is kind of good because that means things are looking good. I love that. I really do. But also, just because things look good don't mean they're actually deeply good. So I stick with my routine no matter what's going on in my life. I could be having the most incredible time. I stick with my morning routine. I still work out. I go on vacation and I'm always working out on vacation. The type of workout may be different, but I will always be working out. I'm always in my journals. I am always doing my daily mindset map where I'm mapping out how I'm going to show up in the day, no matter what's going on. So I'm not one of those people who's like, oh, things are great, so I can listen up a little bit. Oh, no, I double down. I double down. And so that's what we're going to do, right? We're going to double down because today I want to talk about who you're becoming. Like you say you want something and who are you becoming to create that? Because I always tell you, you can dream all the dreams. I want you to dream all the dreams, but you're the one that's going to actually materialize that dream. So how do you do that? How do you show up as her materializing that dream? Not just any random dream, not just what society says you should dream about, but the dream, your dream. And your behaviors, everything you do every day is what shows you that you're actually building the dream. And so that's what we're going to talk about today. So this conversation might just change your life, not just your money, might just change your life. Because wanting more is very easy, but building a life that reflects that, that's where the disconnect happens. So let's dive in. Okay, so you do say you want more. Fantastic. I love it. That's my love language. Tell me more every time, right? You want more freedom. You want more time. You want more flexibility. You want more options. Yay! Of course. But if your money isn't moving in that direction, do you really want all those things? Are you conscious that's actually what you want? Because your life right now is being funded by your current income, not by a plan for the future. You see the difference there? And I think this is normal that if we can fall into this trap. Money is like one of those things, everyone has given it so much power that it has become an entity of its own. Like it has a life. Meanwhile, it's always just a circumstance. It's always just a tool, right? It's a lifeless tool that we use to achieve the life we want. But as a society, we've been programmed to give it so much weight that it has its own identity. And when that's the case, you kind of let it run your life and not you running your life by the plan that you have for your future. And that's the disconnect. We've given so much weight to money that we don't realize we actually have to be the ones to guide it, to direct it where we want it to go. So because when this happens, when money is the thing running the show, funding your lifestyle right now, you tell yourself you're doing fine. Nothing feels urgent because you're not actually at the wheel of your life. Nothing is broken because you're not in touch with what's really happening. And so you just keep going. You keep making good money. You keep supporting your lifestyle with the money. And you don't necessarily have anything to worry about. So there's no pressure. There's no reason to change. But if you're really honest, you've also said this to yourself. Oh, I'll figure this out later. So you've seen something that needed to be figured out. You just kind of pushed it aside. Or you've told yourself, oh, I'm doing fine right now. So again, there was a nudge. There was a question. You just kind of like bypassed it. But I want to call you out on this for you to be honest with yourself. Wanting something is not the same thing as planning for it. Two different things. I just heard this amazing, what are we going to call it? A joke? There's 5 frogs on a log in the river. And out of the 5 frogs, 4 decide to jump in the river. How many are going to be on the log when you look back at the log? How many would you think? All 5 of them. Just because the 4 decided to jump doesn't mean they actually did jump. If they didn't jump, they didn't jump, right? So wanting something doesn't mean you actually achieved it. You did it. You created it. 2 different things. So you can say you want more all day and list them all, journal about them. But if there's no structure to create it, it's just a thought. It's just an idea. It's just an idea. And if you're starting to realize that there's a gap between what you want and what your life actually reflects, this is good news, because I address exactly the same gap in my masterclass, How to Spend Your Money Guilt-Free. I host it on Thursdays at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. In this class, I teach you how to look at your money very clearly, specifically, without avoiding it, without overcomplicating, without guilt. I want to make sure that you have all the information necessary to attend live. So go to greenwealthlegacy.com/confidence to find out more. Or you could just look in the show notes. The link is right there. If you look deeper at your life right now, there's a part of you who doesn't fully believe that you can follow through. And because you don't fully believe you can follow through on your word, you let yourself stay vague in what you want. And vague creates comfort because there's no specificity, there's no detail, there's no commitment, there's no accountability, there's no responsibility. You don't really know for sure because it's vague. Let me show you how this actually looks like when it shifts. So I'm going to give you an example. At some point in my life, I realized that what I wanted in my life was more flexibility. I wasn't worried about making more money. I didn't need a higher promotion at work. I just wanted flexibility. That became like the thing for me. And so once I got clear on that, very specific, my behavior changed. I changed the way I was thinking, right? So I started to interview for new roles. And I wasn't just going to the interviews thinking about, whether they're going to let me in or not. I was showing up as someone who already valued flexibility, because once I was clear on what I wanted, I changed my mindset and I became someone who valued flexibility. That became one of my values. And I showed up as her. So I didn't walk in expecting them to give that to me, to just tell me, oh yeah, this job is flexible. I led the conversation with that identity. And so if I didn't want something traditional, because now I was focused on flexibility, then I was open to working holidays or unconventional hours. I'm the queen of unconventionality. I love that about myself. I love breaking the rules. And so when I was able to identify what I wanted, breaking the conventional rules was easy. I wasn't doing it just to break the rules. I was intentional. So then my actions started to match my priorities. And that's the difference. Because when you are clear on what you want, you stop negotiating with yourself. You stop arguing with yourself. This vagueness is no longer satisfying for you. You want clarity. You want specificity. And then when you're specific enough, you start to create it. And this is where women create disconnect with money. Because you think you want flexibility, but you're not using your money to create the flexibility. You say you want options, but your financial decisions are supporting your current lifestyle, not the future that has all the options. And if you look at your current life right now, maybe your priorities are not what you say they actually are, because your priorities are actually what your money is supporting. So you say, here are my priorities. If you say that, but when you look, your money is supporting these priorities, then this is actually what your priorities are, no matter how many times you say it. And this is where fear shows up, because the truth is, underneath it all, when you start to really want to be specific and like nail down what you really want, your brain starts to freak out, because there is a shift that's going to happen. your brain is going to offer you questions like, what do we have to give up to do this? Oh, and then you start negotiating with yourself. And then you start thinking of how hard it's going to be to actually create the flexibility you wanted or the options that you wanted. Or you tell yourself something like, if I focus on the future, then I have to sacrifice the present. I don't want to think about the future. I want to live life now. I could die tomorrow, right? So all this makes you stay exactly where you are. And if you don't even know that this is what's happening in the back of your mind, you're just like spinning in the same spot, right? But if you really look at it, it's not actually true. It's a thought error that you have. Because when you truly desire something, all you have to do is right now. All you ever have when you want something is right now. So your fear of, oh, I can only get it in the future is actually a misunderstanding. Because it's not the version of you tomorrow that's going to live the current life now. Or it's not like your future is waiting for you, and then it's then that you'll be able to live through those priorities and create the flexibility. Everything you want is right now. You only have this moment. So the real question you want to ask yourself, what does your life look like right now when it actually reflects what matters to you? You see what I mean? This is a really important question, because right this moment, if you're living according to what matters to you, what does that look like? We're not talking about tomorrow. We're not talking about when you used to live like what matters to you. We're talking about right now. And so this forces you to look in and be specific. Well, another question that's for the moment is, how are you spending money in a way that aligns with the future you say you want? Right now, how is your use of money exposing and demonstrating that this is what you're working towards? So again, it forces you to look in now. And that's what your brain is afraid of. So don't fall for the tricks and the scary questions. Because this is not about putting your life on hold. It's about a few things. It's about your decisions today. It's about how you show up. It's about what you prioritize every day. It's about what you do with your money on a day-to-day basis. It's about the everyday you and the connection you have with yourself. Because all of these things, how you show up, how you make decisions, how you prioritize, how you use your money, it should be the reflection of who you say you want to be. I teach this concept to my members in Money Academy of visiting the stranger. There's a version of you who has achieved all the things that you want. So in the moment when you want something, you might be afraid of, how am I going to get it? But that's the wrong question. The real question is, who am I that has gotten these things? She's already in existence, because the minute you think about what you want, you're already the woman who's gotten those things. So what you want to do is visit this stranger. Feel stranger right now because you don't have those things yet. But the more you visit her and interact with her and ask her questions and become friends with her, you start to understand how she achieved all those goals. And then you start to embody that identity. That's the work you want to be focused on as you have all these desires, is to visit the stranger as often as possible. She's your mentor. She's your guide to becoming the woman who has the things you want. That's how you create it. You bring all these things closer, the closer you get to be this identity. And this is where most women get stuck, because it's not because you don't care, it's that you were not actually taught how to do this. Nobody taught us this. Like, they don't teach this in school or college or university. Nobody taught you how to connect your decision to what you want. So I'm making decisions that are actually creating the path for me to achieve what I want. Nobody taught us that. Nobody taught you how to create a structure that supports what you want, or how to even follow through to meet what you want without falling back into old patterns. But that's exactly why I have my masterclass, because I wanted to create a space where I introduce women to this work that is so fulfilling. And I host this class on Thursday at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And the link is in the show notes to join. Because this isn't about wanting more. It's about becoming the woman who actually builds it. You can want all the things, but you're going to be the one to build it. And to be the one to build it, you've got to know how to do it. Because then there's freedom. Because if you say you need more freedom, you really want to look at how you're operating. You may not be creating the freedom you say you want. Because you could be taking liberties. Because there's money flowing in. And that's kind of like dulling your senses of urgency of creating the life you say you want. So you spend your money without checking in. You add more expenses, more commitment, more credits. You can just pay it off. It's no big deal. And you look at your account only to make sure there's still money in there, not to create connection with your money, not to understand the flow of your money, not to direct it, just to reassure yourself that you're still doing great, to stay on that surface level. Again, if you're honest here, you're going to recognize that's not freedom. That's avoidance that now you've used as a safety net. Because what's actually happening here is you're building small, very specific, invisible prisons for yourself. More financial commitments means you're tied down. The future you want isn't coming as soon as you want it. More upkeep and more lifestyle to maintain. And now you have to keep earning at that level just to sustain that. It's not that your saving rate has increased, it's that your lifestyle has matched your spending capacity, and now you have to keep up with that level of spending. So at this point, you really need to redefine what freedom means to you, fully understand it. And this is something you could journal about, because freedom is not I spend whatever I want because I can. Freedom is my money supports the life that I've intentionally chosen. That's true freedom. That's real sleep. That's peace of mind. Because the question here becomes, and this is what I was saying, you could journal about this. Do you know what you're building? Do you have a picture in mind? Can you enter the address in the GPS where you're going? Do you know what matters to you actually? And is your money aligned with that consistently? These are ways that you follow through on all these amazing experiences you have. Let's say you go on a retreat. I was just listening to a woman talk about she went on a retreat. She had an incredible time, but she never created a plan to follow through on all of the breakthroughs she experienced during the retreat. So guess what? That retreat is just stuck in her brain. So these questions are going to help you unlock the plan and the follow through process. So the way you're using your money has to match what really matters to you to create the life you want to build. Not occasionally, not emotionally, but intentionally. Because if your money is not directed, your freedom is always temporary. And eventually it's going to turn into pressure. And this is the part that most people don't think about. You don't see that down the line. You just keep going like this. And you can go like this for years. So when I say temporary, you think maybe in a week or so or in a month, you're going to see it. Maybe not. Maybe you'll just be going like this for years, right? And it's going to feel like normal. But making money, spending money, telling yourself that everything is fine does not actually mean it is fine. Because one day you're going to look back and you're going to realize there's not as much there as you thought. Again, I have said this multiple times, making lots of money does not equal security. And if you're honest, the position you find yourself is not where you want to be. Because nothing is worse than looking back and thinking, I've made so much money over my career, yet I didn't use it well. And it's not because you didn't have the ability, but because you didn't have the intention. You didn't build the intention to use your money well. So, if you say you want more freedom and you want more flexibility and you want more options, you want more time, then your money has to reflect that 100%. Because you don't get the life you say you want, you get the life your money is preparing for. And this is where the shift starts to happen. You stop reacting to money and you start to lead it. You start to take ownership over it. You go from money is just happening to me to no. I guide the money. I'm the human. Money is the tool. I wield the tool, right? I wield the tool. That's the right expression. And you absolutely want more? Yes. You want less? Also, yes. I always say that in my masterclass. I'm like, if you want less money, that's ambition. You want more money, that's ambition. You are entitled to your ambition all the way. Just know you're also responsible 100% to bringing that ambition to life. And if you realize you don't really know how to do that quite yet, that's where you start. So if anything I've said has made you pause, has made you contemplate, and if you recognize yourself in any of what I said, any at all, right? Just don't sit with it and move on and find out, oh, that was a great 30-minute podcast. Take it seriously. Take yourself seriously. The nudge you felt matters. What you want matters. Using your money in a way that feels aligned matters. Because this is the difference between drifting through life and actually building one you're proud of. So I'll leave you with that. Focus on what you want more than what the world says you're supposed to have. And that is where you start to connect with yourself. So until I see you in the next episode, I want you to go out in the world and design your life on purpose. Bye.